All right, so we have our fourth straight wide receiver drafted now as Jordan Addison out of USC, who, I wasn't as high on as some other people were, but I think that drafting him here is a fine selection by the Vikings. I do think that he is someone who could be very good, and let's be honest, the Vikings drafting a receiver right after other teams draft receivers tends to work out pretty well for him. Worked out pretty well for Justin Jefferson. Is this a team that desperately needed a wide receiver? Not desperately, but again, I think they could use one, and I think people pay too much attention to needs. Also, like, again, you're trying to build up and build a good roster. Sure, you have Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne. They still definitely need a second receiver. So, like, it is a need. Maybe there's more pressing needs and more issues. Like, maybe a corner would have made more sense. But I don't know. They have Andrew Booth and Byron Murphy Jr. I think they're okay in that scenario. I guess it kind of is a need, really. And the main thing I like about it is I just think that he could really fit well with Justin Jefferson. I don't think that they're going to try to use him as like this elite number one option. I don't think that's why they're drafting him. I think that they know what he can do and what he can't do, and they're fine with him being a good sort of, number 2 option or number 3 option even. I don't hate this necessarily by the Vikings to make this selection. And again, there were some thoughts. Do they go Hendon Hooker here? Do you move off of Kirk Cousins? But it kind of makes sense they're not doing that. I mean, I'm not saying that they won't ever move off of Kirk Cousins, but feels like it would have been a bit of a, I don't know if Hendon Hooker's the guy you do that with. They kind of tried that a little bit with Kellen Mond, and I don't know. I kind of think you got to either move off him or don't move off of him. Don't do this sort of light move off of him. Maybe if Hooker's available in round 2, which he very well could be, that's maybe where you pay more attention to it. But I think here, get a good player. Jordan Addison should be a really good player, and I'm going to talk about, what he can do well in just a second. And also what his my nitpicks of him are, because there is a reason he was drafted sort of at the back half of the first round a little bit. But yeah, for the Vikings, again, understanding positional value, wide receiver, incredibly important position, and being willing to say where they're at. They must have liked him, because I think if they didn't like him, they probably would have maybe traded up, or maybe they're just really bummed and really wanted a receiver and are kicking themselves that 3 receivers went right before Addison. But very interesting how none of these receivers went, and then they all went 4 in a row. Just fascinating stuff. But yeah, let's just get into my thoughts on Addison. So if you look at Jordan Addison's Pro Football Focus page to start off, you see that, not a ton of snaps, only 335 last year, a little over 500 in 2021, and then about 350 in 2020. Those are the passing snaps, so we're not counting blocking there. Really good 2021, kind of took a little bit of a step back in 2022. Again, PFF grades as a whole don't tend to translate too well at the wide receiver position. It's something you can look at if you want to, but it's not a major deal. Just something I like to include in these videos. The only other real thing of note I would say is you look at the contested catch rate, very poor. I mean, very low. 22.2% contested catch rate. That's massively on the low side, which, you'd like to see be a bit higher. But again, how much does this matter? Only a little. I tend to make my evaluations with receivers based on tape, so let's get into the tape. So let's start off with this play. Just going to be a quick wide receiver screen, and it's these kind of things that I feel like Addison can be really good at. Almost like a Juju Smith-Schuster type of these kind of underneath routes that I think he really excels at. Watch how when this play begins. You see how the quarterback gets the ball to him quickly, and at this point, again, let's play my favorite game of how many yards are you expecting him to be able to get here? And the expectation realistically should be for like a league average college receiver would be kind of get tackled right around now, gain a few more yards, but that's it. But Jordan Addison is just so good in these situations. Watch him really be able to take off, and he is going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. So forget getting yards. He got all the yards available. He got into the end zone. That's pretty good. Heading over here, I think this is a good question to ask with Addison. A fair question to ask with Addison is how well can he win down the field? How well can he win on the outside? That kind of thing is, listen, Addison, not the biggest guy. I think that's very reasonable to say. He's just 5'11", 173 pounds, and ran a 4.49. You think that guy, okay, slot receiver. And that might be the case, but I would say that he has done a better job than you would think at being able to win down the field and win on the outside, and this play is an example of that, where it's going to be a single safety deep, one-on-one matchup, where Addison's going to just try and, win his one-on-one matchup. Again, is going to eventually kind of get to where safety is, but the safety is going to be more over the middle of the field, so it really is going to be a pure one-on-one matchup down the field. Watch how when this play begins, you see that at this point, quarterback looks up, and there isn't a ton of separation, but that's okay because Addison is currently at a much higher speed right now than the defensive back covering him. The defensive back is just now starting to get his hips turned around and moving, and so Addison's just going to try and blow by him. As you see, that's exactly what Addison is able to do. It's also a great throw, and they're able to get not just a catch, but a touchdown out of this. Really good stuff from Addison. He did catch the ball and got into the end zone. This is the kind of thing that he did do pretty consistently in college, is he was able to win on the outside a lot better than you would think given his, given how, his skill set and his traits. You would think, okay, more of a slot guy. He did win on the outside a decent amount in college, and I think that's what the people that really like him for, because he can do this stuff. Like this one's another one where he's not lined up as an outside receiver just yet. He's lined up as the number 2 receiver, but he's going to eventually get, outside the numbers. It's a one-on-one matchup still, and watch what happens. I mean, look at how, despite the space the corner was giving, Addison still is able to get by him, and then the throw was a bit behind, unfortunately, but still really good stuff from Jordan Addison, and these are the kind of things that he did consistently in college. Now, again, not overly fast, not slow, but not overly fast, not for the NFL is what I mean. So is he going to be able to pull this stuff off at the NFL level? It's a fair question to ask, but it's nice to see that he can do this stuff on occasion. Heading over here, he is once again an outside receiver, but this time not running the prototypical outside route, not running the go route, trying to get open down the field. Really going to try to use his shiftiness to get himself open, and he is shifty, but he's maybe not elite. He doesn't necessarily have elite shiftiness is what I would say. Like, watch this play and watch how we're going to make some nice moves here, I would say. Again, it's good, not great, is I think how I would define his shiftiness, which is still a positive. That's still something that you take away and, can get excited about. At the end of the day, there's plenty of stuff to get excited about with Jordan Addison. I think that there's a reason why he wasn't, a lot of people didn't have him as their number 1 or 2 or 3 wide receiver, but there's a reason why a lot of people had him right behind that tier and really liked him a lot because there's plenty that he does well. So I totally understand why people like him. I like him, and we'll see how it works out at the NFL level. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.